Conclusion. 3 stages of development. The community of Buddhist disciples is comprised of many individuals who begin their spiritual journey from different starting points and are walking on different stages of the same path, leading to the same destination. These individuals are at different levels of development in the noble teaching, Ariya Dhamma. By acknowledging this diversity among people, one is able to provide individuals with suitable assistance for their specific circumstances. In relation to the subject of divine beings, this journey or development consists of 3 stages. 1. A dependence on and solicitation to divine beings. 2. A friendly coexistence with divine beings. And 3. A receiving of honor and veneration from divine beings. Level 1 can be considered a pre-developmental stage. Level 2 signals the beginning stage of joining a Buddhist or noble community. And level 3 is the stage of development of a person who has reached the goal of Buddhism. To be called a Buddhist, one must pass beyond the stage of reliance on devas to the stage of friendly coexistence. One will then conduct one's life by making effort based on reason and judgment. One ceases relating to devas as powerful beings who need to be petitioned and flattered, and instead one considers devas as virtuous companions with whom one should maintain mutual kindness and respect. In this respect, humans and devas should not overly associate with one another, interfere in each other's affairs, or conspire together to cause harm to anyone. In regard to psychic powers, including sacred or occult powers, spiritual development also consists of 3 stages. 1. Dependence. 2. Development of psychic power. And 3. Complete freedom. The first stage consists of a fascination in and reliance on external supernatural powers. A person at this stage wastes time and effort and lacks reasoned judgment. This stage can be considered pre-developmental or ignoble. The second stage consists of developing the ability to master psychic powers. These powers are used to support wholesome actions, for example by helping people who are in danger, and to assist in the miracle of instruction. At this second stage, auspicious or sacred objects are used to provide encouragement and reassurance. They act as reminders, strengthening one's resolve to perform good actions and increasing self-confidence. Although one can say that this stage is the beginning of a Buddhist way of life, the Buddha did not promote the development of psychic powers because it can easily drag one back to the first stage. In the third stage, a person is free. Here, one does not rely on supernatural forces or other external factors to provide encouragement. Because one's mind is steadfast, one has control over one's mind and lives free from anxiety. At the very least, one's confidence in the Triple Gem is complete, and this provides one with security. A person who has reached this stage truly understands the principles of Buddhism. People should hasten to progress to the third stage, recollecting the teaching in the suttas describing the attributes of an excellent lay follower. He is not superstitious and believes in karma. He seeks results from karma, not from auspicious powers. B. Stage of freedom. The most important task in helping people to develop through these stages is to offer teachings, and traditionally the principal spiritual teachers in Buddhist communities have been bhikkhus. The speed and extent of spiritual development depends on both the teacher and the student. Teachers have different levels of skill in teaching. Likewise, students' capabilities and spiritual faculties vary. The aim of teaching is for people to reach the third stage of freedom. If the teacher is skilled at teaching and the student is ready, it may only require one meeting between the two to lead the student from the first stage of dependency to the third stage of freedom. The greater the skill of the teacher, the faster the student's development. Usually, to lead students out of established ways of thinking and to help them progress, the teacher must connect to them at their present level of development, or he must provide them with something familiar in order to establish trust. When the teacher lacks special powers for establishing confidence, then he must personally guide the students from their present level of spiritual development to higher levels. In the context where the monks are the primary teachers, it is natural that they have different abilities in regard to teaching. It is most probably for this reason that concessions were made to the monastic discipline, in which it became acceptable to incorporate aspects of the second stage of skillful engagement with supernatural phenomena. The principle behind such concessions is to use those things that people attach to as a starting point when providing instruction. The first step in this process is to dislodge these things from their original place of importance and to steer the person in a more suitable direction. At the same time, these things can be used constructively as a way to spark interest in people, while leading them to eventually pass beyond them. This way of practice is evident in the training rule laid down by the Buddha concerning stepping on ceremonial cloth. At one time, Prince Bodhi Raja Kumara had just finished building a palace, and he invited the Buddha along with the community of monks to have a meal there. The prince ordered that white cloth be spread on the first step of the stairway leading into the palace. When the Buddha arrived, he refrained from stepping on the cloth, and consequently the prince had the cloth removed, after which the Buddha entered. Later, the Buddha laid down a rule forbidding monks from stepping on such cloth. On another occasion, a woman who had just had a miscarriage invited the monks to her house, and having laid down a cloth, she asked the monks to step on it as a blessing. The monks, however, refused to do so. The woman was upset and publicly criticized the monks. When this story reached the Buddha, he amended the training rule, allowing monks to step on ceremonial cloth as a blessing when requested to do so by lay people. This allowance by the Buddha is probably the origin why monks in more recent times have acquiesced to the requests by lay people to perform auspicious ceremonies, produce amulets, and engage with other sacred objects, to the extent that in some periods of time this involvement seems to have exceeded what is appropriate. In any case, if monks understand the spirit of the training rule mentioned above, of conducting auspicious ceremonies only when specifically requested to do so by lay people, then any harm or immoderate behavior will be avoided. Similar concessions can be made in relation to divine beings. The second stage of development can be incorporated by allowing Buddhists to honor devas, especially in the context of a society in which devas are traditionally worshipped. Even oblations to devas is supported in the suttas, but with the stipulation that these offerings are given out of kindness or with a sense of service, not as a supplication or with the wish for a reward. When one goes to live in a new place, one should first offer support to those virtuous people in the surrounding area, and then establish the mind in generosity, sharing whatever merit one has accrued with the local celestial beings. Having received this tribute, the devas will respond with kindness. Whatever devas there are who receive this offering of respect, they will respect him in turn. Having received honor from him, they will likewise honor him. They care for him as a mother cares for her child. In any case, the kindness reciprocated by the devas is unsolicited. The person who offers respect need not petition for it. Our duty is simply to establish a heart of kindness and to share whatever goodness we have with others. Someone who understands this principle will think of the devas with benevolence. When one performs meritorious deeds, one shares this merit with them. There is no harm in this behavior. It will merely enhance the quality of the mind and spread goodness and peace throughout the world. Even when one is unable to pass beyond the second stage, if one maintains this principle of kindly coexistence and does not fall back into currying behavior with divine beings, one's behavior will automatically remain within wholesome boundaries and prevent one from causing harm. In addition, one's mind will be enhanced.